Listen more than you speak. These 5 simple words hold the key to unlocking a world of wisdom, understanding, and personal growth. Today, I want to take you on a journey of self-discovery where we'll explore the profound impact of truly listening in our lives. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves crash against the shore and the sound fills your ears. Now close your eyes and really listen. What do you hear? The rhythm of the water, the cry of seagulls, the whisper of the... When we truly listen, we open ourselves up to a world of information that we might otherwise miss. My friends, we have been given 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. It is nature's way of telling us that we should listen twice as much as we speak. But in our fast-paced, technology-driven world, we've become accustomed to constant noise, to filling every silence with our own voice. We've forgotten the art of listening. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I met a young man named Tom. He was ambitious, full of energy, and always had something to say. He'd come to me seeking advice on how to advance in his career. I asked him a simple question. Tom, how often do you listen to your colleagues? He looked at me puzzled and replied, well, I hear them when they talk to me. I smiled and said, hearing and listening are 2 very different things, my friend. Hearing is a physical act. It is the vibration of sound waves in our ears, but listening, true listening, is an art. It is a conscious choice to not only hear the words being spoken, but to understand the meaning behind them, to empathize with the speaker, to absorb their perspective. I challenged Tom to spend the next week really listening to his colleagues, not just waiting for his turn to speak, but actively engaging with their words, their tone, their body language. A month later, Tom came back to me, his eyes shining with newfound understanding. I can't believe what I've been missing all these years, he said. I've learned more about my team, our projects, and even myself in this past month than I have in years. This, my friends, is the power of listening. It is a transformative act that can change not only our relationships, but our entire life trajectory. When we listen more than we speak, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. I want you to think about the last conversation you had. Were you truly listening, or were you formulating a response while the other person was still speaking? Were you fully present, or was your mind wandering to your to-do list, your worries, your own stories? The truth is, most of us are terrible listeners. We're so caught up in our own thoughts, our own desires to be heard, that we miss the richness of what others are sharing with us. But here is the beautiful saying. Listening is a skill. And like any skill, it can be developed and honed with practice. How do we become better listeners? Let me share with you 5 key principles that can transform your listening skills and, by extension, your life. 1, be present. When someone is speaking to you, give them your full attention. Put away your phone, turn off the TV, close your laptop, make eye contact. Show them through your body language that they have your undivided attention. 2, listen with an open mind. We all have our own beliefs, our own biases, but when we're listening, we need to set these aside. Do not judge what you're hearing. Do not immediately start thinking about how you'll refute their... Instead, try to understand their perspective, even if it is different from your own. 3, listen with your heart, not just your ears. Empathy is a crucial component of effective listening. Try to put yourself in the speaker's shoes. What emotions are they experiencing? What's the underlying message behind their words? 4, ask questions. Good listening isn't passive. Engage with what you're hearing by asking thoughtful questions. This not only helps you understand better, but also shows the speaker that you are genuinely interested in what they're saying. 5, reflect back what you've heard. This technique, known as reflective listening, involves paraphrasing what the speaker has said to ensure you've understood correctly. It is a powerful way to show that you are engaged and to clarify any misunderstanding. You might be thinking, that all sounds great, but what's in it for me? Why should I put in all this effort to become a better listener? Well, my friends, the benefits of effective listening are truly transformative. First and foremost, listening builds deeper, more meaningful relationships. When we truly listen to others, we show them that we value them, that their thoughts and feelings matter to us. This creates a sense of Trust and mutual respect that forms the foundation of all strong relationships, whether personal or professional. Think about the people in your life who you feel closest to. I'd be willing to bet that these are the people who really listen to you, who make you feel heard and understood. By developing your listening skills, you can become that person for others in your life. Listening also expands our own knowledge and understanding of the world. Every person we meet has a unique perspective shaped by their own experiences, culture, and beliefs. When we listen to them, we gain access to this wealth of knowledge. We learn new ideas, new ways of thinking, new approaches to problem solving. I am reminded of a quote by the Greek philosopher Epictetus. "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This ancient wisdom rings just as true today as it did over 2,000 years ago. In fact, in our increasingly divided world, the ability to listen to different perspectives is more important than ever. Listening also helps us make better decisions. When we listen more than we speak, we gather more information. We hear different viewpoints, consider various options. This allows us to make more informed, thoughtful choices in all areas of our lives. But perhaps most importantly, listening helps us grow as individuals. It challenges our assumptions, broadens our horizons, and deepens our empathy. It helps us become more self-aware, more understanding, more compassionate. I want you to imagine a world where everyone listened more than they spoke, a world where people truly sought to understand each other before rushing to judgment, a world where differences were explored with curiosity rather than fear. What kind of world would that be? I believe it would be a world with less conflict, less misunderstanding, less division, a world where innovation flourishes because ideas are shared and built upon, a world where relationships are stronger, communities are more connected and individual. And here's the beautiful thing. We have the power to create that world. It starts with each one of us making the conscious choice to listen more than we speak. But I know what some of you might be thinking. I am not a good listener. I've always been talkative. I do not know how to change. Well, my friends, let me assure you, becoming a better listener is a journey, not a destination. It is a skill that we can all develop. Regardless of our natural tendencies or past habits, start small. In your next conversation, challenge yourself to listen more than you speak. Really focus on what the other person is saying. Notice the thoughts that come up in your mind, the urge to interrupt, to share your own story, to acknowledge these thoughts, but do not act on them. Instead, stay present with the speaker. You practice this, you might find it uncomfortable at first. That's okay. Growth often involves discomfort, but I promise you the rewards are worth it. You might start to notice things you've never noticed before. The subtle changes in someone's tone of voice that reveal their true feelings. The way their eyes light up when they talk about something they're passionate about. The unspoken words that lie beneath the surface of what they're saying. You become a better listener. You'll likely find that people are drawn to you. They'll seek out your company, value your opinion, trust you with their thoughts and feelings. You'll become a source of comfort and wisdom for those around you. But the benefits do not stop there. As you listen more to others, you'll also learn to listen more to yourself. You'll become more attuned to your own thoughts, feelings, and intuitions. This self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth and fulfillment. I want to address a common misconception about listening. Some people believe that being a good listener means being passive, that it means always agreeing with what others say. This couldn't be further from the truth. Effective listening is active. It is engaging. It involves asking questions, seeking clarification, and yes, sometimes respectfully disagreeing. The key is to do all of this from a place of genuine curiosity and respect rather than a desire to prove yourself right or the other person wrong. Remember, the goal of listening is not to win an argument or to change someone's mind. The goal is to understand. And when we approach our interactions with this mindset, amazing things can happen. I've seen hostile negotiations turn into productive collaborations. I've witnessed long-standing family conflicts resolved. I've watched individuals transform their lives simply by learning to listen to others and to themselves. I want to talk about a special kind of listening that's particularly powerful. Listening to the wisdom of nature. In our modern, technology-driven world, we've become disconnected from the natural rhythms of life. We've forgotten how to listen to the whisper of the wind, the song of the birds, the rustle of leaves. But nature has so much to teach us if we only take the time to listen. When we quiet our minds and open our senses to the natural world around us, we tap into a deep well of wisdom and peace. The next time you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, take a walk in nature. But do not just walk, listen. Listen to the crunch of gravel under your feet, the distant call of a bird, the hum of insects. Feel the breeze on your skin, smell the earth and plants around you. You do this, you might find your racing thoughts beginning to slow. You might feel a sense of calm washing over you. You might gain new perspective on your problems or challenges. This is the power of listening to nature. It reconnects us with the larger rhythms of life, reminding us that our individual concerns are part of a much bigger picture. But listening to nature isn't just about finding peace. It is also about learning. Nature operates on principles of balance, adaptation, and interconnectedness. When we truly listen, we can apply these lessons to our own lives and communities. For example, consider a forest ecosystem. Each tree, plant, and animal plays a unique role, contributing to the health of the whole. No single entity tries to dominate or control. Instead, there is a constant give and take, a harmonious balance that allows the entire system to thrive. What if we approached our human relationships and communities with this same mindset? What if, instead of always trying to be heard, to stand out, to win, we focused on listening, on understanding our role in the larger ecosystem of our families, workplaces, and societies? This brings me to another important aspect of listening. Listening to the silence. In our noisy world, we've become uncomfortable with silence. We fill every moment with sound, music, television, conversation. But silence is where some of our deepest insights and most profound growth can occur. When we learn to be comfortable with silence, we create space for reflection, for intuition, for the quiet voice of our inner wisdom. This is why practices like meditation and mindfulness can be so powerful. They train us to listen to the silence. Set aside a few minutes each day for silent reflection. You do not need to do anything special. Just sit quietly and listen. Listen to your breath, to the subtle sensations in your body, to the thoughts that drift through your mind. At first, you might find this challenging. Your mind might race with thoughts, worries, to-do lists. That's okay. The practice isn't about emptying your mind, but about listening to what's there without judgment. You continue this practice, you might start to notice patterns in your thoughts. You might gain insights into your behaviors and motivations. You might find solutions to problems that have been puzzling you. This is the power of listening to silence. It allows us to tap into our own inner wisdom, to hear the quiet voice of intuition that's often drowned out by the noise of daily life. I want to talk about a challenging but incredibly important form of listening to those we disagree with. In today's polarized world, it is all too easy to surround ourselves with people who think like us, who share our views and opinions. But when we do this, we miss out on opportunities for growth and understanding. Listening to those we disagree with doesn't mean we have to change our minds or compromise our values. It means being willing to consider different perspectives, to challenge our own assumptions, to expand our understanding of the world. This kind of listening requires courage. It requires us to set aside our ego, our desire to be right, our fear of having our worldview challenged, but the rewards are immense. When we truly listen to those we disagree with, we often find that we have more in common than we thought. We might discover nuances in their position that we hadn't considered. We might even find that our own views evolve and become more nuanced as a result. Moreover, this kind of listening is essential for solving the complex problems facing our world today. No single perspective has all the answers. It is only by bringing together diverse viewpoints, by truly listening to and learning from each other, that we can hope to address issues like climate change, inequality, and global conflict. I challenge you. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation, with someone whose views differ from your own. Resist the urge to argue or defend your position. Instead, listen, ask questions, seek to understand. You might be surprised by what you learn. As we near the end of our time together, I want to bring our focus back to you, to your life, your relationships, your personal growth journey. Imagine for a moment how your life might change if you committed to listening more than you speak. How might your relationships deepen? How might your understanding of yourself and the world around you expand? How might your ability to make wise decisions improve? The journey to becoming a better listener is ongoing. It is not something we achieve once and then forget about. It is a daily practice, a moment-by-moment choice to be present, to be open, to be curious. But here's the beautiful thing. Every time you choose to listen, you create a ripple effect. You not only enrich your own life, but you touch the lives of those around you. You create space for understanding, for connection, for growth. In a world that often feels divided and disconnected, your choice to listen can be a powerful force for positive change. It can bridge divides, heal conflicts, and create communities of understanding and mutual respect. I invite you, my friends, to join me in this journey of listening, to commit to listening more than you speak, to open your ears, your mind, and your heart to the wisdom that surrounds you in nature, in silence, in the people you meet each day. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. So start today, in your very next conversation, challenge yourself to listen more deeply, to be fully present, to seek understanding before being understood. And as you do this, pay attention to what happens. Notice how it affects your interactions, your relationships, your own inner state. I think you'll find, as I have, that the simple act of listening has the power to transform your life in profound and beautiful. My friends, we stand at a pivotal moment in human history. The challenges we face are great, but so too is our potential for growth, for understanding, for creating a better world. And it all begins with listening. Let us go forth from here with open ears, open minds, and open hearts. Let us listen to the wisdom of nature, to the silence within us, to those we agree with and those we do not. Let us listen more than we speak. For in doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but we contribute to the creation of a more compassionate, more connected, more harmonious world. A world where every voice is heard, where every perspective is valued, where the wisdom of the collective can flourish. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you speak. This simple principle, if embraced by each of us, has the power to change everything. Go forth and listen. Well, for in your listening lies the seeds of transformation for yourself, for your relationships, for our world. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and the journey to a better world begins with a single act of listening. Let that journey begin now with you. The art of listening, let's explore how this skill can transform various aspects of our lives that we haven't yet touched upon. Consider your professional life. In the workplace, the ability to listen effectively can be the difference between success and stagnation. Leaders who listen to their team members foster innovation, boost morale, and create an environment where everyone feels valued. When employees feel heard, they're more engaged, more productive, and more likely to go the extra mile. But listening in the workplace goes beyond just hearing your colleagues. It is about listening to the unspoken dynamics of your organization. What's the mood in the office? What are the underlying tensions or excitements? By tuning into these subtle cues, you can navigate your professional life with greater wisdom and effectiveness. Turn our attention to education. Imagine if our schools placed as much emphasis on teaching listening skills as they do on public speaking or writing. How might this change the learning experience? Students who are skilled listeners absorb information more effectively, engage more deeply with the material, and develop a more nuanced understanding of complex topics. For teachers, the ability to truly listen to students can revolutionize the classroom experience. When educators listen not just to the words their students say, but to the emotions and experiences behind those words, They can tailor their teaching methods to better meet each student's needs. This kind of deep listening creates an environment where students feel safe to express themselves, ask questions, and take intellectual risks. Consider the role of listening in creativity and innovation. Many of us associate creativity with the act of producing, writing, painting, composing, inventing. But true creativity often begins with deep listening. Listening to the world around us, to the ideas of others, and to our own inner voice of inspiration. The greatest innovators in history were often exceptional listeners. They listened to the problems people were facing, to the limitations of existing solutions, to the whispers of possibility that others might have missed. By cultivating your listening skills, you are not just becoming a better communicator. You are nurturing your creative potential. Talk about listening in the context of personal wellness and self-care. In our busy lives, we often neglect to listen to our own bodies and minds. We push through fatigue, ignore stress signals, and suppress our emotions. But our bodies and minds are constantly communicating with us, if only we would listen. Practice listening to your body. What is it telling you about your needs, your stressors, your overall health? Listen to your emotions, even the uncomfortable ones. What are they trying to tell you about your life, your relationships, your choices? By developing this inner listening, you can become more attuned to your own needs and more proactive in caring for your physical and emotional well-being. The concept of listening across generations. In many cultures, there is a tradition of elders passing down wisdom to younger generations. But in our fast-paced, technology-driven world, we've often lost this connection. Young people are so focused on the future that they forget to listen to the lessons of the past. Our older generations sometimes struggle to listen to the fresh perspectives of youth. Imagine the powerful exchange of ideas that could occur if we created more opportunities for intergenerational listening. Young people could benefit from the life experiences and hard-earned wisdom of their elders, while older generations could gain new insights and energy from the innovative thinking of youth. This kind of listening across age barriers could help bridge divides and create a more cohesive society. Consider listening in the context of our increasingly global and multicultural world. As our communities become more diverse, the ability to listen across cultural boundaries becomes ever more crucial. This kind of listening requires more than just understanding words. It involves being attuned to different cultural contexts, nonverbal cues, and ways of expressing ideas. When we truly listen across cultures, we open ourselves up to new ways of thinking, new perspectives on life, and new solutions to shared problems. This kind of deep cross-cultural listening is the foundation of true global understanding and cooperation. Talk about the role of listening in conflict resolution. Whether it is a minor disagreement with a friend or a major international dispute, the root of most conflicts is a failure to listen and understand each other. When we're in conflict, our natural tendency is to focus on making our own point, defending our position. But true resolution often comes from a willingness to listen, really listen to the other side. This does not mean we have to agree with everything we hear. But by listening with an open mind and heart, we often discover that our positions aren't as far apart as we thought. We might find common ground we hadn't seen before or gain insights that lead to creative solutions. The simple act of feeling truly heard can often de-escalate tensions and open the door to productive dialogue. We wrap up our exploration of listening. I want to leave you with a final thought. Listening, at its core, is an act of love. When we truly listen to someone, we're saying, "You matter. Your thoughts, your feelings, your experiences are important to me." In a world that often feels isolating and divided, this simple act of listening can be a powerful force for connection and healing. My friends, as you go forth from here, I challenge you to become ambassadors of listening. In your families, your workplaces, your communities, be the one who listens. Be the one who seeks to understand before being understood. Be the one who creates space for others to be heard. Remember, every time you choose to listen, you are not just changing your own life. You are changing the world around you. One conversation at a time, one relationship at a time, you are creating a more empathetic, more connected, more harmonious The power to make this change lies within each of us. It doesn't require special skills or resources, just the willingness to open our ears, our minds, and our hearts. So let us commit here and now to listen more than we speak, to hear not just with our ears, but with our whole being. For doing so, we unlock the door to greater understanding, deeper connections, and a more fulfilling life. We become catalysts for positive change in our relationships, our communities, and our world. Go forth, my friends, and listen. Listen deeply, listen often, listen with love. For in your listening lies the seeds of transformation for yourself and for our world. The journey to a better future begins with a single act of listening. Let that journey begin now with you.